In turn, and songs like "Let 'Em Burn" is that also very inward? Because the way I read it was more.
Oh, that one's more outward.
Right.
Yeah. There's a few songs on there that are more externalized, and that one was about more the world and society. And when we were writing this record, we had the 2016 elections in the U.S., which I'm sure the whole world knows were fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like we had
Sure.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, like the two worst fucking people ever. Like one's a for sure crook, and the other one's just a fucking idiot, like douchebag. And and they're both. I mean, they're obviously. I don't like to paint with a broad brush. Humans are complicated, and they both have qualities in them that are good. Nobody's completely bad. But I was looking at this, and when we were writing the song "Let 'Em Burn," I was more surprised by how much the public discourse was devolving. Is that a word?
Yeah.
More than I was like concerned about the candidates. I was just like on Facebook and all the social media, people weren't talking with each other anymore. They were talking at each other, and everybody was so certain of their point of view. And I thought it was just everybody seemed like children to me. I was like, whoa, we've like reverted to like being 3 years old again and like calling each other names and I'm on the blue team, I'm on the red team, fuck you, it's just stupid.
Because I wrote one line down from there which struck me was fear the left, fear the right, money is power and power decides. So is that kind of the way I interpret it is pretty much it's all the same either which way it goes, and is that fair?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I personally have a more libertarian kind of point of view. Like I don't know what that would mean over here because I don't know y'all's politics, but in the U.S. I'm more of a states' rights, less federal government, more freedom, and so in my view, the Republicans and the Democrats, which are both the major parties, are both big government. They're just big government in different ways.
Right.
And so it is more about money. Because the more the government grows, the more they have more money and control. And so they just have to, they play against each other or play off of each other to steer the herd, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think I'll leave this one because what I also want to talk about then is obviously you've been nominated for a bunch of Grammys this year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Did it come as a surprise to you?
The 3 nominations was a huge surprise. I said on our last record, and this isn't, I hope this doesn't come across as like arrogant or something. I just, like when you're playing baseball and you go in there, that's, I was aiming, saying, you know what, we're going to get a Grammy on this one. I thought on the last record, I was hoping that was my goal was like God Went North or Jenny, but didn't happen. And I was like, all right. So when this came around, I thought, okay, at least one or a nomination of some sort. But when we got 3, that's where I was really surprised. I was blown away.
In previous on previous albums, you've written songs about MTV and that kind of. So what do awards like these? Do they mean something to you? Is that important to you?
It's a mixed bag because I think it means more to everyone else, and that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? So it's not the award directly. It's what the award means to my family and friends who have been there from the beginning, who are kind of cheering from the sidelines, and seeing them like feel validated is exciting to me. Because the actual award itself, I don't ever think it's been about the best song. If the best song got the Grammy, there would be a lot of different songs. You know what I mean? As an artist, I've just seen things win that I'm like, really? You know what I mean?
I think when Bowie died, it was something like he never won a Grammy, and it was
oh really?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Said, so.
Exactly. And so I don't trust awards or charts for what determines what's best, because now I'm behind the curtain and I see how there's so many politics behind it. But I will say that it definitely means something. Even if it isn't perfect, it says a lot more than you know, it's just by a pure numbers game. It's rare.
It's an acknowledgement in a sense of what you've done.
And so I feel very honored by it. I don't want to downplay it at all.
Sure,
but
sure. No,
as an artist, I am, you know, I have my opinions about what wins and all that.
Well, because I can imagine when you're, well, I find it interesting because you said that on the last album you kind of were aiming, maybe not particularly this award, but you were aiming for the stars, so to say.
Right, right.
In terms of, no, let me ask it differently then. What is your definition of success then?
Honestly, I feel like it's kind of I feel like there's like this basic bottom line, and then above that it's like it's a gradient. It's like different shades. It's almost like, I'll say this first and it'll probably make more sense of it, but when they did this study on people's happiness in relation to how much money they made. And they said people that made $20,000 a year, every $1,000 more per year, all the way up to $60,000 a year, their happiness went up, like in a linear way. It made sense. They were that much happier. But then past $60,000 a year, it actually had diminishing returns. It was like a bell curve.
Right.
And so I kind of feel like the same way with music. Like there is like going from having to work side jobs to being able to do this full time. That was the biggest like bottom line, to be able to just do this, not have to focus on anything else, and this pays all my bills. That to me was baseline success. And then everything above that was more just like more happiness, more freedom, more ability to create in the world. And like the more we get a bigger crew and a bigger bus, I can focus more on singing and more on the things I actually like. But then at some point, you know, like I was saying, there is some kind of diminishing return where it's just another piece of gear, or it's another this or that. And yeah.
Finally then, but are there certain goals that you're working towards, or are there certain things you still want to achieve?
Yeah, like what is it? There was this venue, like Wembley, for example. That's in the goal. There's one called Red Rocks in Colorado. I want to play there. So there's some venues on my bucket list. But honestly, I see myself growing with the band, and it basically creating this culture that we have. And then I want to do other things as well. You know, like I want to direct movies and do things outside of the music industry. Now's not the right time because we're still building this, you know, globally. But eventually, I want to kind of explore other forms of art and then bring it back and you know, tour again and stuff like that.
Jonny, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me.